I want to ask you something quite personal, and I hope you'll be honest with yourself about it. When was the last time you said yes when your entire being wanted to say no? When was the last time you smiled while your heart was sinking? When was the last time you bent yourself into a shape that wasn't yours simply to avoid disappointing someone? Now, here's what's fascinating. You probably don't remember the last time because you've done it so many times that it's become completely automatic. Like breathing, like blinking. You've been doing it so long that you've forgotten there was ever another way to be. And the strangest part, you call this being good. You call this being mature. You call this being civilized. But I'm going to suggest to you that what you're actually doing is slowly, quietly making yourself disappear. Now, I'm not here to lecture you about assertiveness or tell you to stand up for yourself or any of that modern psychological talk. What I want to explore with you is something much deeper, much more fundamental. I want to talk about what happens when you finally see through this whole game of trying to be acceptable. When you wake up to the fact that the person you've been trying so hard to perfect, to make lovable, to make acceptable, that person isn't real. And when that realization hits you, really hits you, the need to please people doesn't just diminish. It collapses, like a house of cards in a sudden wind. Not because you've become brave or confident, but because there's suddenly nobody home who needs the world's approval to exist. So let's take a journey together. Let's explore what happens when an awakened soul stops pleasing everyone. And I promise you, it's not what you think. Now, let me tell you how this whole thing starts. You come into this world as a baby, and you're completely authentic. When you're hungry, you cry. When you're content, you're quiet. When something disturbs you, you let everyone know about it immediately. You're not trying to be anything. You're just being what you are. But then something happens. You begin to notice that certain behaviors get you warmth, and others get you coldness. When you smile, people smile back. When you cry too much, you sense irritation. When you're good, quiet, compliant, easy, life flows smoothly. When you're bad, demanding, loud, inconvenient, there's friction. And so, without anyone explicitly teaching you, you begin to learn the most important lesson of civilized life. Love is conditional. Acceptance must be earned. There is a right way to be, and if you can just figure out what that is and perform it well enough, you'll be safe. So you become an actor in a play you didn't audition for. You start watching yourself, monitoring yourself, editing yourself. You develop what I call the inner observer, the part of you that's always standing back, watching your performance, asking, was that okay? Did I say the right thing? Do they still like me? And gradually, over years, you construct an identity. Not your real identity, mind you, but a social identity, a persona, the helpful one, the strong one, the understanding one, the one who never causes trouble, the one who can be counted on, the one who makes everyone else comfortable. Now here's where it gets interesting. This persona, this mask you've created, it's not entirely false. It's made up of real qualities you possess. You really are helpful. You really are understanding. But you've taken these qualities and frozen them into a fixed role, and now you're stuck playing that role whether it fits the moment or not. You've become like an actor who's been playing the same character for so long that he's forgotten it's a role. He goes home at night and he's still in character. He eats breakfast in character. He makes love in character. He dreams in character. And one day he wakes up and realizes he doesn't know who he is without the costume. That's what's happened to you. You've been pleasing people for so long that you don't know who you are when you're not doing it. Now let's talk about this thing we call the ego, because the ego is running this whole show. The ego is that feeling of being a separate, isolated self, locked up inside a bag of skin, looking out at a world that's foreign and potentially threatening. But here's the secret that the ego doesn't want you to know. The ego isn't real. It's a construct. It's a pattern of thinking that creates the illusion of separation. And the ego maintains itself through exactly one mechanism: comparison. Think about it. When do you feel most like a self? When you're comparing yourself to others. I'm more intelligent than him. I'm less attractive than her. I'm more spiritual than them. I'm not as successful as they are. The ego exists only in relation. It has no independent reality. And people-pleasing is the ego's most desperate strategy for survival. Because every time you please someone, every time you get their approval, their smile, their validation, it confirms that you exist. It proves to you that this separate self is real, is valuable, is worth keeping around. You're like a person constantly looking into mirrors to make sure they're still there. Do you see me? Do you approve of me? Do you confirm that I'm real, that I'm good, that I'm acceptable? And as long as the mirrors reflect back what you want to see, you feel safe.